on to the press box at IMSH 2023 here in Orlando from the Society for Simulation in Healthcare and HealthySimulation.com. My name's Lance, I'm the founder and CEO of HealthySimulation.com, and next to me I have Dr. Laura Gonzalez, and she is the VP at Sentinel U, the VP of
Clinical Learning Resources.
Clinical Learning Resources. And so Sentinel U is providing digital-based remote training technologies for nursing and allied health to be able to help us to kind of expand what we can do in terms of this type of content online, right? So I'm really excited to learn a little bit more about that and your excitement about IMSH 2023. Apparently this is the largest one we've ever had, over
Amazing.
140 exhibitors and 4,000 attendees, so I'm really excited to be here in this space.
It's a little overwhelming,
yeah,
isn't it?
there's a lot to see and to look at, right? And
Absolutely.
so tell me a little bit more about your role with Sentinel U and the company and what it's doing.
Sure, so Sentinel U, we are leading in the industry with nursing simulation based experiences. So this is a screen-based simulations. We have them for pre-licensure. We also have them professional nursing development. And now we've just launched our advanced practice series, which we're really proud of. This is really a much needed solution for PAs, nurse practitioners, those kind of DO students, really trying to have that authentic encounter, if you will. So that's something we're very, very excited about. We just launched that last fall, and we're really excited because we're gaining a lot of traction, and it's something much, much needed. Another thing that we just recently did was we finally got together and we have our professional nursing series, and with that you get continuing education through ANCC. So that's another step forward why trying to meet those learners where they are. And that also will apply to our advanced practice series. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot of really exciting things going on right now. Of course, trying to stay ahead of the innovation, if you will.
Right.
But we have a lot of dedicated people working, and it's really a great place to be. So we're very proud of the work we do.
Right. Well, I mean, to me, their work with you as the president of INACSL, or the International Nursing Association for Clinical Simulation and Learning, demonstrates to me that Sentinel U is really taking nursing simulation very seriously, because they have your support, and I know you and your team have been helping to put on some CE webinars on the HealthySimulation.com Learn platform, really trying to help educate the audience about virtual simulation opportunities, virtual debriefing, and some of these types of tools that we can use in terms of virtual patients. As you remember last year, we talked about the survey that we had done about remote and distance-based learning technologies post-COVID, and we found that a vast majority of institutions that responded found great success with that, so much so that they were going to continue to look at ways that they could bring in these remote distance-based learning technologies. So tell me a little bit about some of the trends that you guys are seeing out there industry-wide that Sentinel U wants to be ahead of and leading in terms of the space as a whole.
So one thing that comes to mind, and I think it's really important, I mean, coming out of yesterday's summit,
the research summit,
just to be real clear, what resonated with me was we need more research.
Yes.
We need more homogeneous research so we can kind of really take a good look at what we're doing.
Right.
So I felt that was really very, very important for the industry, so we started the Sentinel U Nursing Research Grant.
Okay.
So I think that is a key piece for all of us involved, all of the industry players. We need to be establishing those learning outcomes.
Right.
If we want people to invest in it, if we want people to say this is something that I could use in my classroom and my students will gain from it, we need to have the data. So we launched, this is our second year, but we launched a Sentinel U Nursing Research Grant. It was an unencumbered research grants for a myriad of proposals looking as undergraduate and graduate. And I'm so excited because as we wrap up 2022 into 23 now, all of the programs that participated in our study, again in unencumbered, all had positive outcomes in learning when using our Sentinel U products.
Right.
So I feel like that's something meaningful, and as an industry leader, we need to be doing more of that. We need to be contributing to the body of nursing science.
Right.
And that's one way we're doing that.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Supporting these grants and enabling for this research to happen that really addresses this unique expanding field of virtual simulation. And to me, folks, what we're looking at is like the learning pyramid, and you have your high fidelity clinical simulation experiences in the lab up at the top, that all the teams come together, but that takes a lot of time and effort and people to bring together. Still very important, and we need to be doing more of it, but now we have this whole new layer of digital-based learning technologies that can help to fill in those gaps, where it could be anytime with anyone doing anything, anywhere, right? And so I think that really expands the opportunity for education and training to happen at the time frame that's best for the learner.
Absolutely.
So then come together as a group when we come to the sim lab to do these high stakes environment opportunities, and that will then towards to better outcomes overall.
Absolutely, and as you know, in the last webinar we did together about the associate degree nurses,
Yes.
we do know that they are a unique demographic and their time is limited. So to be able to have that flexibility to do that just-in-time learning, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
getting that immediate feedback, getting those activity reports where they can reflect on them, and then coming together to do a synchronous debrief, that is a new paradigm, and I think we're going to need to be supporting it, leaning into it, and it's going to be like a new expectation of learning.
Yeah. And so, as this VP of Clinical Learning at Sentinel U and as the president of IMSH, what do you think are things that we need to do as an industry to help the industry continue to grow post-COVID? Even though that was dramatic growth, we still have a long way to go in terms of full adoption of these technologies. So what do you think we might need to do now collectively to help move the industry forward?
Well, definitely, I think research should be forefront. I know we don't give it enough. I mean, we're really looking at it, but we need so much more research.
Right.
It's like anything, people want to be invested, but they certainly want to make sure that they have the learning outcomes.
Right.
And I think organizations such as SSH and INAXL, coming together, working more closely, I am really excited that they have the foundation now that they'll be able to sponsor and really sponsor some rigorous science. Maybe looking at more multi-site research centers, and collectively coming together to maybe perhaps there is a way to share resources, and I'm not talking about resources of technology, if you will, but there has to be some way we can have a little more of a cohesiveness about us. As you mentioned, kind of a unique organization where we all come together with some goals, and of course the goal is patient safety.
Right.
Whether the proxy is student learning outcomes,
Right.
it does translate to patient safety. So
Right.
I think if we all kind of work under the guide, that is our guiding umbrella, patient safety, we can really,
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen so much growth in the 20 years I've been involved in this, and
Right.
you have as well.
Yeah, it's incredible to see where it's come from and where it's going. And I think, as much as it's also about patient safety, I think simulation also helps the providers. And I think to reduce the stress of providers is so important and to improve their lives. We've heard countless stories of medication errors leading to, criminal offenses
Terrible
and things,
outcomes.
right? And so this is this systemic issue that we need to address, and I think collectively the simulation community can really help to represent that and explain that to others. So, well, Laura, thank you so much for meeting with me today and for
Always
sharing
a
more about
pleasure.
what's happening. And so, folks, tune in to hashtag IMSH 2023 to follow along with all the news and content over the next few days, and we'll see you at healthysimulation.com. Thanks so much.